Morena. I am fresh out of bed, y'all. But I had a card come into my mind from this here. The Faerytale Oracle. But so then I got the deck, and apparently I'm gonna pull some cards at the bottom of the deck twice already while shuffling. We've got Rumpelstiltskin. For those that know the story, I'm not gonna explain that though. These cards I'm not super familiar with, so I'm gonna read from the book, okay? We'll just see what comes out. I think every time I try and plan it, it doesn't really go that way, so we'll just let what happens happen. Yeah, fuck it, we're gonna take all these. The first one is the red shoes, which is obsession. Put them at the cat. Show what we've got. They've all come out in reverse, and I always take cards however they come, whether they have a reverse meaning or not, because everything has its polar opposite. Yeah. So the first card is we have obsession, the red shoes. The second card is the 12 dancing princesses, which is about enchantment. We've got obsession, enchantment, and then we've got Snow White and Red Rose, sister love. Okay, they're so pretty, these ones. You like that kind of thing, you know? So I'm gonna read these from the book, bottom of the deck. We've got Goldilocks entitlement. That's what Goldilocks is about. Underneath that, we've got the Wild Swan's dedication. Okay, so the red shoes, which is number 20. Obsession. She danced and she was forced to dance through the gloomy night. The shoes carried her over stack and stone. She was torn till bled. She was torn till she bled. She danced over the heath till she came to a little house. Here she knew, dwelt the executioner, and she tapped with her fingers at the window and said, "Come out, come out. I cannot come in, for I am forced to dance." And the executioner said, "Thou dost not know who I am, I fancy. I strike bad people's heads off, and I hear that my axe rings." "Don't strike off my head," said Karen. "Then I can't repent of my sins, but strike off my feet in the red shoes." Hans Christian Andersen uses the symbol of red shoes in more than one fairy tale, and they symbolize, when given up gladly for friendship and love, a sacrifice, because they are so valued and treasured. But in this tale, the trickster, the devil, almost in his guise as he appears in the traditional tarot, offers a young girl red shoes. She covets them. She misunderstands what they are because her greed for them is all-encompassing. She accepts them. They are more important to her than her relationships, her community, and respect. This is the key to the story. That all things that lead to our addiction and compulsion, that control us and enslave us, are most often offered to us, and they begin to chip away at what makes us good people. All addictions hurt us, not only physically, they destroy us ethically. So the first lesson when we receive this card is to know when to say no to an offer we find hard to resist. In this tale, the young girl's shoes are activated to do what they are meant to do. They dance. But they have no interest or concern for the young girl who wears them. They spin and turn until she is exhausted and weeping and out of control. This is the same with all compulsions, addictions, and things that start out as fun. This is how addictions begin. And her desire for the shoes overrides everything. Just as addicts steal from those they once loved, the craving overwhelms all love. It becomes a reason for living, and it can kill us. The only solution for the girl is to beg for the woodcutter to chop off her feet. A horrible, horrible option. But she begs for him to release her from the shoes, which will not come off otherwise. So she sacrifices her feet and begins again. Broken and crippled, and yet, she goes on, and life begins again, and she creates a life where she has learned and suffered and changed, but which now is within her own control. This card asks you to reconsider a radical, strong solution to a difficult problem. It could be a relationship that feels out of control, or your devotion or addiction to something that started as a recreation, a desire, a longing, something you thought would be wonderful and give you a great deal, and take nothing. Except it has taken, perhaps even taken over your life. You need to seek help, and you need to break the chains, cut yourself free, and start again. This could be painful and difficult, but it will result in being free to be yourself again, except a whole lot wiser, and able to help others too, who wish to embrace the curse of the beautiful red shoes as well. The meaning of this card is obsession, need, slave, curse. What started out as a pleasure has become an addiction. There is an unhealthy attachment in your life. Take steps to free yourself from your own compulsion. Seek help and support in gaining control. Reassert yourself as the sovereign of your own life. Take back your power. So keep in mind, right, all these come out in reverse. So what I'm saying is a freeing, breaking the chains actually. Feet cut off. Obsession. She's taken off the shills, y'all. Good job. Number 21, the 12 dancing princesses. Enchantment. There was once upon a time a king who had 12 daughters, each one more beautiful than the other. They slept side by side in a great chamber, and every night when they were in their beds, the king locked the door to their chamber and bolted it. But every morning when he unlocked their door, he saw that their shoes were worn out from dancing. Within fairy tales, there are strict rules. Of course, when we first read this tale, we understand in the world of the story that the 12 dancing princesses are not doing what they ought to be. For they are princesses. Their job is well beyond dancing in enchanted realms, living a free and wild life in the forest. They are to be married advantageously. They are to breed more little princes and princesses. And they are to be wise, delightful, bountiful, and obedient. The 12 princesses of this tale are not any of those things. Instead, what they are is free. They are escaping the bonds of marriage over and over every night with the help of their magical shoes. Their father, frustrated and important as all kings come to be, wants fresh blood for the kingdom and offers his daughters to any man who can discover where it is his daughters vanish to each night. The punishment for failure is death, so the princesses leave behind their dancing nights a field of bodies, the unrealized promise of the young hunter. In time, of course, one comes who uses his wits as well as his courage, who has charm as well as health, and who finally solves the mystery and breaks the spell. This, of course, leads to the princesses doing as they should, putting away their dancing shoes and beginning their roles as princesses, mothers, and nurturers. This is a tale that in many ways sets up the princesses to look selfish, hedonistic, and irresponsible, and yet they are living their lives in an enchanted realm where their greatest joy is to dance. They are living in the shadows of the night, and they are free, as so many women and princesses long to be. Free to dance, to speak, to learn, to be free, to travel, to dream, without becoming the wife and the mother. For them to give this up takes one who is worthy of them, and thus it is with this card. If you are contemplating giving up any of your dreams, or indeed any of your freedom, and taking up a great and irreversible responsibility, be sure that when you do so, the one for whom you sacrificed your dream self is thoroughly worthy. And if they are not, let them go. Let that dream of love die, metaphorically, as a young prince did, for it is not any child's duty to fulfill the dreams and wishes of a parent. The king desires for his daughters to obey, but until they meet the one who is worthy, they cannot. The spell of freedom, the dance of the soul, is too powerful, and in fact, it can never truly be given up. It is simply that at times we find one with whom we wish to dance during the day, as well as in our dreams at night. Meaning, enchantment, deceit, secrecy. The time of freedom is coming to an end. Enjoying the last moments of a time of excitement and unusual activity. You will take up new responsibilities, you will find a worthy partner, and move from group activities to close, loving partners. You've been socializing to the exclusion of some important activities. Transformation from youth to maturity. I know that's pretty straightforward, but being in the reverse as well. It's like, like what has bound us is now broken. Taking off the shoes. Getting married, y'all. 26, Snow White, Rose Red, Sister Love. Oh, these are much longer than I thought. Take a bit of breath, don't they? 26, Sister Love. The two children were so fond of one another that they always held each other by the hand when they went out together, and when Snow White said, "We will not leave each other," Rose Red answered, "Never so long as we live," and their mother would add, "What one has she must share with the other." They often ran about the forest alone and gathered red berries, and no beasts did them any harm, but came close to them trustfully. The little hare would eat a cabbage leaf out of their hands, the roe grazed by their side, the stag leapt merrily by them, and the birds sat still upon the boughs and sang whatever they knew. No mishap overtook them. If they stayed too late in the forest and night came on, they laid themselves down near one another upon the moss and slept until morning came, and their mother knew this and did not worry on their account. This beautiful tale is about sisterhood and family and the love and trust that people who have been raised well and nurtured tenderly can give. It is a testament to nature and to the trust that the sisters have between them. They are at home within nature, they are protected by nature's spirits. An angel stops them from falling over a precipice, and they have so much simple good fortune that they can even take in a beer one cold dark night. They let him warm himself by the fire, and in time this beer becomes their friend. Of course, as is the way with fairy tales, the bear is not a bear, but an enchanted prince. And their trust and love for him is rewarded in the friendship he returns. For the reward is not just that their love breaks a curse and his bare skin falls away and he shows himself to be a prince. There is of course a marriage and a happy ever after. It is what their family circle of love and trust creates. It is that their family circle of love and trust creates friendship, joy, warmth, and protection for all who enter it. Their family, which could be quite bitter, for they are not rich, is small, close, and full of love. They have been taught to share everything, and they do so, and in that sharing greater goodness can be created. Thus, when this card comes to you, know that it is time to do good turns, to appreciate the small fortunes you have, to count blessings and to know that whatever blessing you have, it can expand and grow richer, deeper, and more lasting when we place our attention upon the blessing. The sisters and the loving mother and their tiny cottage are beloved because of this energy they bring to everything. They are loving, therefore they are loved. So know that at this time, it's important to appreciate what you have been gifted, love the friendships and family who have been good to you, and find every gem in the dirt, every star in the darkness. Make this your habit, and the rewards will be peace and joy and contentment. From these three things, so many more blessings can flow. The other aspect is that the sisters are dark and light, both good, but one quick and vivacious. The other shy, yet they share everything. One marries the bear prince, the other his brother, and love each other dearly. So too with us. We must marry within us our dark and our light, not rejecting either, and by sharing both aspects of the self with the world in tender, honest, and vulnerable ways. We become strong and abundance flows to us. What may appear to frighten others will be for you an opportunity to do good. Your generosity, your lack of fear, and your solid bonds with loved ones will give you all the strength you need, all the blessings you could ever wish for. And the meaning of this one: family bonds, sister love, sharing when you have little, rewards for good deeds, sharing what you have creates abundance, sibling loyalty and love, extending hospitality and generosity, seeing beyond appearances, reward for a good, true heart. Again, in reverse, I see it as a breaking of bonds. Someone has been a bit selfish and a bit greedy, coveting a little bit. That's come up in more than one card. So share, give to receive, share your gifts, right? We weren't given gifts and talents to do nothing with them. If we use them and express them, put them out there, it makes nature happy, okay? Goldilocks. This young lady is entitled. She breaks into the homes of the house of the bears and decides that she'll try on everything, that she's got a right to wear their clothes, sleep in their bed, eat their food, drink their water. She does not. No, says who? Those bears come home, they are gonna rip her face off. You know what I mean? Like, don't do that, stop it. Obsession. These are really great cards, right? But stop dancing, stop performing, stop playing a role that ain't you, okay? Share, bonding, love, marriage, union of self, of shadow and light. That's what union is about, okay? But when we come into union internally, well, the external is going to reflect as well. If we want the world to be more loving, well, then we must be more loving, mustn't we? I'm just quickly going to read one that I was sort of drawn to before I even got this deck, which is number 30, the day boy and the night girl, which is about balance, quite appropriate. You must learn to be strong in the dark as well as in the day, else you will always be only half brave. In this haunting original fairy tale, the boy is captured by a witch and kept in a tower. He is only allowed to witness and know of the daylight and lives each day from sunrise to sunset. In another part of the tower dwells a girl, also a prisoner of the witch, and this girl is being taught only of the night. She lives only in the dark, and both are only permitted to know half of all the world has to offer us. But when both escape and eventually meet, they guide each other through the times that are unknown, of the dark and of the light. For both of these innocents, the unknown is terrifying, but slowly they learn to trust each other, and each allows the other to be their guide through the unknown. This is a deeply hopeful and powerful story. The young woman teaches the young man that the night is not to be feared, nor are the moon and the stars. Likewise, he helps her feel safe and allow herself to feel the warmth of the sun, to see all colours for the first time, and to step into the light. It is so touching. Sorry, that's my cat. It is so touching, my black cat. It is so touching and so balanced and symmetrical. Both the day boy and the night girl are fearful, and both are heroic, each as the student and the teacher, and neither can be whole or truly brave until they can work with the dark and the light, within themselves, in the outside world, and throughout their lives. So if this card comes to you, know that you cannot live afraid of the light, for the bright light that is wanting to shine on you. Typical. Where? Something about bright light shining. There we are. For the bright light that is wanting to shine on you and bring you to full and radiant life is healing light. The warmth of love and joy and your own flourishing cannot be hidden away from, and you cannot hide from the dark either. There will be times of stillness and quiet and subtle hiddenness, when you can walk unwatched and be more of an observer in the world. You are all light and darkness, whirling together, radiant and star-like, and you must also balance the aspects of masculine and feminine within you. Now it is time to work with your fears, for now is the time when you can finally come to wholeness despite all you have been taught. Meaning, polarizing beliefs. Not just opposite beliefs, but polarizing as in balancing them. The meeting point where understanding and love between different people begins. Masculine and feminine energies in relationship. Balance is needed for true wholeness. Conditioned fear. Time to confront and overcome fears. A kind-hearted guide through darkness. Counselling and compassion. Recovery after abusive childhood. There is a whole new world for you to explore. That was lovely. I'll just see if I can find that card quickly, which of course I can. I found it. Day boy, night girl. I'm gonna leave it there, young, because that was long enough. Okay, I'm not gonna interpret them too much, but a lot of this is breaking away, the falling out of obsessions, of entrapment, of entanglement, of duty. You know, being bound to duty and society and the construct. Break free, which we're doing. You're doing great. Share, collaboration. It's time to collaborate. Work together. We can do this together. Balance, okay? And just remember that everybody that you meet holds something that you don't have. Alright? Everyone can teach you something that you don't know. Everybody has something valuable inside of them, okay? But we're never going to see it, too, if we don't allow that person to be brilliant. Like, how do you expect to see beauty in the world if you never look? If beauty is all you look for, then beauty is all you'll see. You know, we're not idiots here. Be discerning, you know? However, nature's beauty. Love her. Love you, angels. Behave.